Alright, this is a follow-up for the Mobil 1 bait and switch video. Just wanted to give you some updated information. I've actually talked to Mobil 1. Let's find out what they said. Y'all come along. Alright, well, we've got the filter out and I have them sitting side by side so we can take a look at the difference between the two. But first, let's go over and talk about when I called Mobil 1, I called their tech line, and let me tell you what they said. Mobil 1 told me that they had changed the design of the filter, that the filter had originally been made here in America by a company called Champion Labs, and that they had gone back to a more OEM styled and designed filter, and that was what they were producing now. So after that, I went out and I began to do some looking and research and trying to find the best and most optimal filter I could find for my vehicle. And what I finally found and settled on was Amsoil. Amsoil, this is their EA15K02 is the model number. Apparently the EAK series of filters, and with the 15K, that represents that 15,000 mile filter or 1 year. And there's a caveat that comes with that. They guarantee this filter for the 15,000 miles when used in conjunction with the oil that they recommend for this engine. If you use this filter with another brand of oil, they tell you to change the oil by the recommendations of the OEM. They will not stand behind this filter if you use another brand of oil and try to run an extended mileage. So just know that. I've used Castrol GTX Magnatech. I change this oil, as I've said in previous videos. I don't run the full 1 year oil change. I change the oil about every 6 months, and I change this filter once a year. Okay. What I was reading about the Amsoil filter is that it is a synthetic material. They use a nitrile seal at both ends so that no fluid can get around this filter, and it has a wire mesh backing to support their filter material. With this Mobil 1 filter, none of that is in play. They have these hard plastic, or maybe rubber, but it's hard, end caps, and the filter media is basically adhered and held together by this very small ring right here. So let me get set up and we'll take a closer look at these two filters. All right, let's take a quick gander here. Let y'all get in here nice and close where you can see what I'm talking about. Now, this one, like I said, I just pulled it out of the vehicle and it's still dripping oil. It has about 4,000 miles on it, and like I said, the hard plastic end caps that's held together right here in this spot and right here in this spot. Very thin way to hold that oil filter together. I mean, it works, don't get me wrong. I mean, but I don't know how I would trust that 15 or 20,000 miles down the road. Now, let's take a look at this filter. Rubber seals. You have all of this surface area that's bonding the filter material together. The other side is the exact same way. Rubber seal. And I don't know if you can see it, but right here, you can see it where they put the ends of the filter together, where they're mated together. You can feel the wire. There's a wire that holds the back side of this filter together. for added support. And if you look down in there, you also see that there's a steel core for this filter media to lay against as well. So again, I'm not saying that filter won't do it. I'm sure they've lab tested it, and I'm sure maybe it does work. But I want something that I feel more confident in. One of my biggest issues, particularly when I filmed my last video, was the fact that even though they had changed the product, they didn't change the part number, and they also did not change the picture that they had on the marketing. They still showed the old filter. So when you got home and you pull this new design filter out of the box, you just didn't feel like you were getting what you paid for. So hang on just a minute. We're going to wrap this oil change up. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more and do a wrap up. I paid about $25 to have this filter shipped to my house. That was including purchasing and shipping. I have had Amsoil reach out to me to offer me distributors and dealers that would be closer to me, and so I wouldn't have to order it and pay all the shipping. But I wanted to get this filter and I wanted to get this information out to you. I would have had it up a lot sooner, but as I'm sure all of you have heard about the snow and ice apocalypse, that put everything behind for quite some time. So I also wanted to mention, this is their, as I said, their EA line, and it is 15,000 miles, and they have an EO designation line. It is EO 25,000. They have filters that they will rate and guarantee to 25,000 miles. Personally, I think that's too long to go, but if you're a person who drives your vehicle a lot, say you put 25, 30, 50,000, there are people out there that actually do put that many miles a year on their vehicle, they would consider going to the EO 25K filter. I know a lot of people that do that, and they generally sell their vehicle at 100,000 miles and get another one because they use it for business, they use it for extensive travel. In those cases where you're running the mileage up really fast, you're probably on the interstate, your engine operating temperatures are staying higher, where the engine oil is designed to operate, you don't have the issues with moisture, with cranking up, heats up, cools down, and you end up with condensation moisture. If you're not dealing with those kinds of issues, I could see where the EO 25K would be beneficial for some people. For me, the EA 15K is fine. I'll continue doing what I'm doing, changing the filter once a year, change the oil twice a year, and I'm over 100,000 miles and I'm having no issues at all. Oil, when I drain it out, still appears to be pretty clean. I'm going to try to get a sample and send it off and have it sampled. And if I get that done, I will come back and I'll give you an update video and let you know how it's doing. Thanks for coming by the Real World Garage. We're out here digging, trying to get you the best information to keep your car going. And if you'd like more information on how to keep your car going, watch a video coming on the screen right now.